What's up, everyone? This is Matt Mrozik, and this will be the first video of this series, and this will be the Bad English Studio Hulk versus Thor prototype. This is the 1/5 scale version, and I believe they're also doing a 1/6 scale version. So they sent me the big guy. This is a cool piece. There's one little piece of breakage in there, and then I'll show you something else that I just did myself unpacking, and it's a suggestion to the factory when you're casting this guy, because when I was unpacking him, I actually punched a hole through one of his arms because the resin was thin right there. So go figure. So I'll have to fix that. But it's a great piece. I'm going to put it together on camera and kind of show you how it goes together, because it's very specific how it goes together. And then I'll kind of do some turnarounds and get closer to it. But overall, it's a nice piece. It's a big piece. It's heavy. I think anyone who orders this is going to be really happy with it. And I've gotten some directions as far as like painting wise, how they want to go. Similar to the other prototypes I've done, the factory's taken the cleanup so far, so I'll have some priming and stuff to do. The fitting looks pretty good from my initial kind of dry fitting, trying to see how things go together. So I'm gonna put them together, and then we'll come in closer to show you. So the first step is you gotta put the base together, and this is solid resin. This has not been primed yet. So this pig has a nice big key, and it fits in there very nicely, just like that. And then it comes with all these little pieces of rubble, and they're numbered. Sometimes you can read them, sometimes you can't, but they only fit a specific spot. So the trick is I have to put the rubble in on this side and leave these two pieces off before I get Hulk in, because you kind of have to build them up around this stuff. So like this is number 1, which I think goes. Again, this may take me a second to put together. Yeah, that goes right there. Now this is a very small key right there, so I may put a pin in that just to keep that from breaking. This is number 2, which will go here. This is number, whatever that number is, goes up here. And they only fit in one spot the way that they're keyed. So you can't put it in the wrong spot. I guess if you forced it, you could put it in the wrong spot, but you'd have to try pretty hard. That one I have to leave out for now. This one's got a nice big key. So, and I'll show you the few things that were broken in shipping, and then I'll show you what I just did with my thumb, which really sucks, because I'm going to fix it now. Which is, you know, it is what it is, but stuff like that happens every once in a while. So when you guys talk to the factory, have them make sure they pour this a little thicker on this arm, just because I punched a hole in it trying to get it out of the foam. Number 5. So these two I have to leave out for now. So this is the base. It's all put together. Dimension on the base without anything on it. Width wise, you're looking at about 31.5 inches. Depth wise, at its deepest point is about 15.5, maybe 16 inches. Okay, now the next thing we're gonna do is put Thor together. So one suggestion on this guy, I'm not sure if that's possible, but if this arm could be a separate piece, it would make assembly way easier, simply because the cape has got to come in and around underneath his arm. And just from the few times I've done it, there's a lot of rubbing and scraping that goes on. And then on a painted piece, that's not ideal. So if the factory can make this a separate piece, that's, I think, a really good solution for that. The casting on this is done very, very well. I'll come in tighter after it's put together, but it's really good. Details are nice and present. Nice veins on the arms, nice skin texture, nice big pegs in the feet. He's very solid. So yeah, really, really well done. So the first thing you have to do on Thor is you have to put the cape on. And I say this all the time, I'm a sucker for a cool cape. So this is where having this arm separate would be really good idea. So what you have to do, now I did this before, I'm gonna do it, I don't want to try to do it reverse because I'll mess it up. I won't mess it up, but I'll go in wrong. You have to bring the cape in kind of like this, and then you have to twist it. Hold on. You actually have to come between his legs like this. Hold on. Let me figure this out again. Nope. Never mind. I gotta figure this out. Okay, that's how it is. So this bent leg goes right in this crease right here. That's how it goes. So you have to kind of come in here, and then you have to kind of wrap around his calf, and then bring it down. Okay, so like right there, if this arm was separate, it would slide right in. But the way it is right now, I have to bring the cape in, and there, you can see there's a lot of rubbing that goes on, and then it'll go in. So the way this works is this cape has got to come in at a very specific angle to get past his back leg here. Again, I'm going to try to do it again because it's a trick to get it in there. Once it's in, it's a good fit. But again, if this left arm was a separate piece, I wouldn't be struggling with this. Okay. Again, you got to kind of bring it in, wrap it around that back leg, so it goes between his and the crook of his leg, I guess would be a good term, and then it pegs in right there. So once it's in there, it fits very well. If this arm was separate, it would go right in, no problem. Okay, so that's the first step for Thor. And now we're going to just go ahead and throw him on the base. So I left these two pieces out back here of the rubble because you have to wait to do that until Hulk's on the base. Then he pegs in very nicely. Very solid, looking good. So far Thor's two pieces. You have the cape and the torso and the legs, and this left arm is one piece. Again, if this left arm would be separate, it would be awesome. The head is interesting, the way they did this. I'm not sure, but I only have one Thor head. I could have sworn it's supposed to come with a short hair and a long haired helmet, or short hair and a long hair portrait. I have just one, which is long hair. I could be wrong on that. I know that the Hulk is supposed to come with two, but I thought Thor was supposed to have two also. So I may be wrong on that, guys. Don't hold me to it. So the way this works is the hair goes around the head first. So we have two pieces, and actually this fits really, the engineering on this is done very well. It kind of wraps around the sides like this. Nice big keys. And they hid the seam within the creases of the hair. So once that's painted, you won't even see that. And once that gets glued in, it's fine. And like even right now, the way this works, the helmet, which I love a lot, the wings are beautiful, nicely done. Right now, the way the helmet works, they'll just kind of hold the helmet on. So if you get the pre-paint, you'll have all, this will all be put together for you, I'm assuming. But as a kit builder, if you don't want to take the helmet on and off. Once you put it on, don't take it off because you'll scratch up. There's an ear in there on this side. He has a right ear, which I don't even know why because you don't see it. They left off the left ear. He really doesn't need a right ear because you don't see it. Unless there's supposed to be a second portrait with this helmet. My guess would be that if there's a second portrait, it would have a different helmet. That's just that's what I would think. Fits on just like that, really nicely. And we can put his head on. Nice magnet, fits in perfectly. I'm gonna wait for the rest of Thor because I'm put Hulk together. So now this is where I had the breakage. The first part was done in shipping. They had the torso, this guy's big, and the legs in the box like this, okay? And they just had some bubble wrapped between the legs and around the neck. And I think just by it kind of moving around, it broke just a little bit of piece off the top of the pants, because when I first unpacked it, I found this little piece of resin. I couldn't, for the life, I thought it came off of this guy right here, which is like the torn pants, but no, it came off the top of his pants here. It fits in right here. So, sorry. Now, when I was unpacking, packed very well, but very tightly. The top part is hollow. Well, the resin right here is pretty damn thin. I went to go pick it up and my finger went through the resin. So I went to go grab it and my thumb went through. So now I get to fix that. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard. basically what I'll do is I'll put some expanding foam in there. I'll let it kind of ooze out. I'll shave it down and I'll putty it. So for the guys at Bad English Studio, just make sure that the factory, because I'm looking at it, and there's a nice thick wall. You can tell there's a nice thick wall of resin, like towards the top. This arm has it. Like he doesn't. I know it's hollow, but it really doesn't sound hollow. But this right here, very thin. I mean, it's. I don't want to say paper thin, but it's pretty damn. If it's thin enough for me to, when I grab it, put a hole through it, they need to make sure that they get enough resin all over the thing, just to be safe. Because again, if you have someone with a pre-paint and they go to pull it out of the box, they stick their finger through it, that's going to really suck. So just make sure that the factory make sure they get a nice even coat of resin when they're rotocasting this piece in particular. Again, it's not that big of a deal. It'll take me a little while to fix it, but you know, at least like an arm didn't break off or anything. So the packing overall was excellent. Everything was packed very tightly. Like I said, the only suggestion for packing would be to maybe put some bubble wrap between the legs and the torso, just so that if they do shift a little bit, you don't get anything chipping. So again, that's a very minor critique for the packing. My other suggestion so far, again, is make this left arm separate if possible. It would make putting the cape on a lot easier. It would make painting kits a lot easier, less masking. So far, those are my two suggestions. And that's really my only two so far. Now the way Hulk goes together is a little interesting. So even though this is 1/5 scale, he's pretty damn big. The way this works is this is kind of like his torn pants, I guess. And it keys in the front of the upper torso like this. And then then the legs go on. Now, I think the legs are solid. They feel solid. Okay, so now basically he's together. What I'll probably do is, for the prototype, I'll probably end up epoxying him into one piece, just to be safe. If I can repack him in this box, I may have to send him in 2 boxes. I don't know. I have to talk to the guys, see what I'm gonna do. So there he is. So this is 1/5 scale, guys. This is huge at 1/5 scale. So just imagine this in 1/4 scale. Okay, so now that we have Thor on the base and we have Hulk together, I tried this like 7, 8 different ways. This is the way I found out that worked the best. Basically, to thread his left fist kind of behind Thor. And there's a spot in the back here where he's punching the rock, and it's amazing. The engineering's done really well. It's amazing how well it fits. So you have to kind of thread his fist through again. So if this was a pre-paint, I would have everything covered in like paper towels and stuff to prevent things from rubbing and stuff. Okay. Now this right leg wants to peg right away, but you kind of have to peg them both at the same time. So I'm gonna bend down here and get this. They may have a better order of assembly, but this is what worked for me the best. Okay, so now Hulk is in there, and he's solid. This thing, once together, it's amazing. It's really, really cool. I'm going to spin him around here because you can see how that worked. And I'm actually going to take him off and show you again from this side how to put him in there. So I'm going to take him out. So you have your Hulk together, no head. Thor's on the base. You're going to bring the fist around. Again, this is what I found worked. And you're kind of going to thread it back behind his back. Don't let the right foot peg yet. Oops. This is another reason why to have Hulk in one piece. Less chance of things slipping. And you want to get this, you got to rotate it. You get his fist in that punch spot and then put him in. So I got a lot of rubbing going on there. So cover the whole thing in paper towels or whatever to kind of keep that from happening. Hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully I'll have it done enough, have done it enough times that all that rubbing will be down to a minimum. So now you can put in the last 2 pieces of rubble for the base. And the key in over here. Let's see. Because you can't put Hulk on with these pieces of rubble in because they wrap around his fist. So really good. Let's see. I'm gonna turn it towards me so I can see what I'm doing. Make sure I get the right thing going in the right spot. Again, these pieces only fit one way. Okay, that fits there. And that should fit. There we go. Okay. So now we got this really cool punching effect into the rock. It fits extremely well. Really cool. Okay. So now we got Hulk in there with the hole in his arm I gotta fix, which sucks. So now we can finish putting Thor together. So we have his right arm, which I'll have to add a magnet. They didn't put a magnet in it. Can go there. Oh, I should have put these two pieces in before the head. So I'm gonna take the head off real quick because his hair wraps around these a little bit. They got nice big magnets in these guys, but they didn't put magnets in the in the freaking hand over there. So go figure there. Prototypes. And these are really strong magnets for these little guys. They don't need to be that strong. But hey, whatever. Okay, those fit really well, and then the head can go on like that. Okay. And then we have his closed fist over here, and then we have his other fist with his hammer, and the hammer does light up. It's got a cool light up feature. And then we got these other two discs that go on his body, and these only fit in specific areas. They have keys specific to their spots, and those fit like that. And then I like the long-haired Hulk portrait better myself. So when you switch these out, you have to take off his right hand and then put the Hulk head in, and then you can replace this hand because his right hand or his right arm prevents you from switching out the head while it's on. So once that's magnetized, it's super simple. The fit is excellent. I'm really impressed with the fit. And then I'm not going to put the hammer on because it won't stay right now. And this will have to be removable to do the light up feature. Actually, it may stay on. It'll stay. And I can show you the light up feature actually. So I'm gonna go over the other parts real quick. So Hulk has two portraits. He's got long hair, he's got a short hair. I'm much more of a fan of the long hair. I think it's more dynamic. I love the flow of the hair. I love Thor's sculpt. I love the expression on his face. Again, I'll come in closer and show this to you. Looking really good. I'm just gonna check, make sure I'm still recording. Sometimes my phone likes to stop and I don't know it. We're still going. Actually, I can come in closer now. I didn't realize how far back I was. So what I'll do, since I'm closer, I'll kind of take them apart again for you. Let's see if I get my camera down. Come on. There we go. It wasn't wanting to crank down. Cool piece. So I won't start painting on this guy until at least until after the Captain America's done. And then next month I have to get this Yag-Dogga done, which is a Gundam I've been started like over a year ago. Have to get it done before June. So that's like, once I get the Yag-Dogga done and the Captain America, I'll be like, quote unquote, caught up on projects. So yeah, anyway, so there's that. So you can see that. So the way the light up feature works is the exact same way the Alpha 3 Scarlet worked. For the life of me, I had no clue what these are. These are little LEDs, and these are in Japanese. I'm assuming Japanese or Chinese, I don't know. But they're really cool. So when you get these, save the packaging because you'll need to know what this is in order to order new batteries. So I'm gonna open this up. I don't want, I'm just gonna go. This one they give you two LEDs and two batteries. And the way this works is this little silver cylinder is your battery. This little guy is your LED. And when you plug it in, it lights up, just like that. And this is like a little tool to get the LED in and out. So for this, the way the hammer works is casted in clear. The LED will go in the handle. So when you want to do this, you plug in your LED, put it in the handle, and then do that, and then it lights up. Now you're not seeing a real big effect of it right now. I can go turn these lights down. You can kind of see it better. Give me a second. Turn that down. And I'm going to turn this light down too. Let's see. There you go. You can kind of see the hammer lighting up now. So, and it's got all these lightning bolts coming out. Now here's my other critique of the kit. I had some of the lightning bolts broken in the bag. This is very brittle, this clear resin, whatever they're using. So I'm gonna have to go turn the lights back on, because I'm not gonna put these all in, because, see, it's not glued in. Because they need to be glued in order to stay. So, but here you can see the way the hammer lights up. So basically what you do is you paint the whole hammer, except for the little areas where the lightning bolts plug in, and then the lightning will light up. So let me do this. Let me see if I can show you on one or two. So let's see if I can find something I know that plugs in, where it plugs in. Part of the problem is it's, so again, these are all numbered, but the way they're numbered, it's hard to read the numbers. So just having to kind of guess where they go. See, this is a pretty long one. Sure it goes there. Yeah, so I had a few of these broken in my bag, so I'll have to glue them back together, which won't affect the light up effect. It's just another little thing you have to repair. I think this goes in here. I think that one goes there. So anyway, once the hammer is painted, the lightning will light up to an extent, but it's pretty cool effect. So I'll probably end up painting these. I'll have to talk to the guys, but probably adding some paint to the lightning effect. We'll see, because the light will only travel so far up the clear resin. So like, let's find another one. Let's see. And some of this clear stuff is still a little cloudy, which is how it is right after casting. It needs to be cleaned up and clear coated. Once that's done, it shines like glass. I don't want to fill with this for too long because it's not very exciting, but I'll try to show you a little bit how the light up effect works. It's a good concept. I think that goes in there. I don't want to force it again because, like I said, this clear stuff is brittle and I don't want to break off any of these little pegs. But anyway, that's the idea. So let me turn the lights back on. Okay. So you get two of those LEDs in there. And what you want to do is you want to hold on to that package so you know what kind of batteries to buy, because there's like little cylinder batteries, which I've seen before in other kits. Some Gundam kits I've done in the past. Bigger batteries, so you got two of those. Other than that, the only other parts of the kit is they molded the tongues separately for both Hulks. So again, if you get the kit version, you'll get these tongues, which makes painting those much easier, and they fit very well. They molded the tongue separately, and they molded the teeth separately. And even Thor's tongue is separately, it's right there. So, I can put the hammer back on. It may fall off again. Let's see. By the time this is painted, and I'm not sure what the factory's gonna do, but by the time I paint this and everything, it'll have enough paint layers on it that this will stay without much effort at all. There'll be enough thickness of paint and stuff to keep it on there, so. I may just had it keyed wrong in there too, so that seems like that wants to stay there. All right. So there he is all together. I'm just gonna leave this portrait on because I like it, but here's the short-haired portrait. Nicely done. And I'll show you a close-up of the long hair one, which is the one I prefer. right there. I love the hair on it, nice sculpt. Just love the expression on his face. Now, when I was looking at pictures of the print, it looks like they initially had cut the heads right around the neck right here and decided to change that cut to right up under the ear, which makes a lot more sense. So another thing that I'll have to fix on this one in particular is there's a line where they changed the cut, or the spot where the heads switch out. So there's like a line right here. I'll just fill that in with a little putty and retexture it to match the skin. So that, again, that's not that big of a deal. But as far as like work straight from the factory, I think basically it's a coater primer. I'm not seeing any mold lines or anything. Those look like those have been all cleaned up very well. Again, it looks really good, except for punching a hole in his arm because it was thin there, and that little bit of breakage on his pants. You know, the packing was excellent. So bubble wrap between the torso and the legs. Make sure the resin on the on the arm is evenly thick so that when someone goes to pick it up, they don't put a hole in it. And if you look at pictures of the print, the arm was actually cut right here, and they went in to join it and filled the seam for me, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm glad they did that. Same on this arm. If you look at the print, when it was printed and molded, it was cut right here underneath the armpit. The factory put that together and fixed the seam. So nicely done. So let's put this back on again, and we'll do a spin around, and this video will be just about over. Been rambling on enough. So again, I'm not sure if the guys at Bad English will post this video. I kind of think it'd be cool if they did. That way guys who have ordered this will kind of get to see the process. I know Mark DeMello, and I get it. He didn't want me to release any videos until the very end of the production of Batman. Sandro at Vision 2.0 has been showing a couple work in progress pictures of the Captain. So everyone's a little bit different on what they want to show as far as work in progress on a prototype. And I get it. There's a lot of opinions out there and a lot of things that people want to do specifically, but I think if you trust your producer and you like their work, just trust that they're going to give you a product that you're going to like. So nice spin around here. I mean, the way the fist comes around the cape and punches the rock is it's really, really cool. Just a ton of motion in this piece. And again, the cape, I love the cape. I love a cape. All right, so now let's get an overall height of this guy up to the fist. So at the top, 24 inches. 2 feet tall to the toppest point, to the highest point. Again, our width right at 29 and a half inches, I'd say. Your depth is right about 15 and a half inches. Just a cool piece. Let's see how close I am, see if you guys can see that. Let's get a little tighter. You can see the box over there. It's big. I had to have my daughter help me get the foam out of the box. So yeah, really neat. I guess the hammer would go more like this maybe, or I don't know. I probably want to see the words on it, so maybe it'd go like this. I have to look at the artwork. What would make more sense of this? Also, I don't have the lightning bolts on there either, so that may affect how it fits on there. I think it may be supposed to go this way. In that case, you can flip it around so the words are that way. So that's probably how it's supposed to go. I probably have it on together. There we go. That's how it's supposed to go. That makes more sense. So now you see the words and everything. The saying, I don't know what to say. Again, I'm not a comic guy. I know it says something specific on there, but I don't know what it says. Let me come down a little bit. Tons of motion in Thor's body, like he's getting his ass kicked. Hulk's all pissed at him. So if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, go see it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the humor was spot on. I loved it. There's a certain amount of humor in the previous Captain Americas or the Avengers with Hulk and stuff. So yeah. So again, for the guys at Bad English, my suggestions are, if the factory can keep this arm separate, it'll make assembly way easier for anyone that's getting this. Packing wise, I would put some sort of padding between the torso and the legs. And then the other one is just the resin. Make sure the resin thickness is equal, especially specifically on the arms, because you really have to grab them by the arms to get them out. And that's when I put my thumb through it, because I had to grab him pretty tight to get him out of the foam. He was packed so well. So don't change the packing. I think the packing is excellent. I think just maybe there's a thin spot in the resin right there, and I just happened to stick my thumb through it. So stuff like that happens every once in a while. But you know what? As a model builder, you learn to fix things like that. So it's not the end of the world, you know. But yeah, I think the fits overall is really, really good. If I had to be super, super picky, there's maybe a little tiny gap in the neck down there, but I'm having to look really hard to see it. And I may have to adjust them a little bit. But good. It's a nice, clean, for the most part, a really clean prototype. Yeah. So again, guys, I'll start working on this once I'm done with the Captain America. I'll start getting them primed up and stuff. So Captain America's moving along. He's just slow. Very detailed piece. I've been hand painting for a week on it. So, but I'm putting in serious hours on it. Like I put in 7 hours in it last night. You know, so I'm going to bed like at 1:30 every night working on stuff, trying to get stuff done. And then my Yag dog that my client has been patiently waiting for forever. Got to get that knocked out before June. So there you go, guys. Another long video of me rambling on, but I think you get a nice look at this piece. I don't have something. Oh, I guess I could put. Let me grab. I'll grab one of the Captain Americas, which is quarter scale, to give you a sense of the size. So give me a second. I've got them both right behind here. I'll back up a little bit. Okay, so remember, this guy's 1/5 scale as a size reference to a 1/4 scale. Hopefully Sandra doesn't mind that I'm showing this real quick. Super quick. Here's the Captain America that I'm working on right there. So you get a sense of scale. I'll put them towards the front here. So, Sandro, if you see this, I hope you don't mind me showing this real quick as a size comparison, but it gives you a good idea of the size. He's big. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching as always. Matt Mrozik. We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.